slight disillusion, so do forgive me on that, please. President Simon of APPNA, Simon Zafar, Nadeem Zafar, Mubashir, Asif Mahmood, Ambassador Robin Rafael, Senator Cardin, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to be invited to APPNA as a keynote speaker. I consider this to be a great privilege and even a greater opportunity to be part of APPNA discourse. I'm grateful for your consideration and appreciation. During the 2012 Academy Award ceremony, Daniel Ganji, the director of the film Saving Face, said in his acceptance speech, and I quote, "Change can only happen when there is a cross-cultural collaboration." I would be remiss to say that though Sharmeen and I are honored to accept this award, the real heroes are the brave women who shared their stories for this film. Movie highlighted a cruel reality. I could never have thought someone would make a movie about that, what I do, what I did. I'm extremely grateful to both Daniel and Sharmeen. But what I would like to talk about today is much more than the movie. And I want to talk about my country, Pakistan, and its women. A key theme I want to focus is opportunity, or rather the lack of it. Lack of opportunities causes poverty, disease, and conflict. And all of us who are present here should reflect upon that opportunity can do. Look at yourself. It can transform lives. It has transformed my life. It has transformed, I'm sure, yours too. So our lives, yours and mine, are a testimony to the power of positive change. Yes, having witnessed our own life transform, we can open up access to opportunity to the economically and socially marginalized, the deprived and the underserved communities. I would like to share some of the things I hold dear to my heart. Obviously, I'm aware that I would bring my own biases, but please bear with me to understand where I'm coming from. I would make it easier for you, so I would start at the very beginning. I was able to get my education in Pakistan for almost free, and I'm sure quite a few of you who went to the medical schools in government setup were the same. I owe a lot to my country, where I got my first degree in medicine, which enabled me to pursue my dreams. I'm grateful to my father, who encouraged me to study medicine, to my mother, who taught me the values of sharing and giving, my wife and companion for over a quarter of a century, who put up with my weird ideas and heavy personality. She's with me here tonight, and I want to say that I love you a lot more than I express. I'm indebted to my three beautiful and blessed children who allowed me to be absent from my fatherly responsibility to carry on my demanding work. Finally and critically, I will always owe a lot to Katie Piper for coming into my professional life. Without her acknowledgement and belief in me and my skills, I would not have had the opportunity to do what I did and what you saw in Saving Face. As Pakistanis, we need to think about why it happened to so often to poor, underprivileged, and disadvantaged people such as poor women. Yes, the situation in Pakistan is not good. There are big issues like security, poverty, and injustice. But it is easy to condemn, complain, and lament. Speaking in Washington, I would like to quote one of my greatest leaders of the free world, John F. Kennedy, who told American people in his inaugural speech as president in 1961, more than half a century ago, and I quote, I'm sure you remember, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." And I guess this is our time to do our bit. sincerely feel that APPNA and all of us do our best to passionately project our human face to the world. I think we've taken enough beating for a long time now. APPNA should commit itself to interact with the US media, to highlight the suffering and injustice faced by the underprivileged in Pakistan, especially women. Their plight has little to do with extremism, but everything to do with poverty, social structure, and education, or say, lack of education. I must emphasize the need to create and sustain an enabling and empowering environment for women in our countries. My mother was always the greatest inspiration in my life. It is therefore inevitable for me to talk about women. My professional universe is made of women generally, and I like that. And I love my profession, I love what I do. The women of Pakistan have a special place in my world view, and it is with this in mind that I've chosen to address the overwhelming problems and issues that faces our women today. The women and children of Pakistan are the largest demographic group, but with very or little access to opportunity. Actually, the world over you would find that women and children are always up against the great wall blocking their way to opportunity. And of course, this is a man-made barrier. In Pakistan, access to opportunity is historically denied by the formal and informal political and socioeconomic structures. And the factors that further impede access to opportunity are class, social, religious, and regional disparities and prejudices. And I like to quote from a book of a very dear friend of mine, Yusuf Nazar, in his book Gathering Strong, that it does not make a sensational story, but Pakistan is actually polarized between corrupt and decadent elites and a disillusioned, apathetic, underemployed, and poor population that seems to treat bad rulers and pathetic governors as her fate. And I agree with him. There is a vertical polarization in a society between the social classes, and also horizontal polarization between the regions and ethnic groups. That must change. Moreover, in Pakistan, it's a man's world in Pakistan more than in many other countries. Man rule. In most matters, judgments are made by men for and on behalf of women, and by extension for children. The most extraordinary thing about this reality is not that it exists, but it is the apathy, and I repeat, it's apathy and indifference shown to women issues by men. And I cannot really understand how we could sustain the exclusion of half of our population and hope to grow as a civilized in the 21st century, economically, socially, or otherwise. I need not remind this educated audience that the most amazing asset is always the human capital. It is not the natural and the physical assets and the resources that by themselves cause progress and development. The United States of America is a perfect example for that. You guys made it so good. So it is the human capital that transforms the natural assets and resources. And I quote Ambassador Rafael, this is exactly what the US government now agreeing to actually share that with Pakistan. And I thank you for that. Yet we choose to deny the women their rightful place, though it should not need no reminding. But we need to remind ourselves that our mothers gave birth to us, nurtured and raised us. Mother is the first woman in our life. And I'd like to propose that APPNA may like to consider providing mentoring to the young women of Pakistan in the skills needed to access opportunity, including adult education, especially young women aspiring to join the medical profession. APPNA could link up with the civil society or organization, and especially Pakistan's powerful and growing media, to provide mentoring platforms in the form of workshops to the young women of Pakistan. I would like to conclude my address by reciting a couplet from a great poet, Ahmad Faraz. My eldest brother Jawad sent it to me. शिकवा ज़ुल्मत शब से तो ये ही बेहतर था, शिकवा ज़ुल्मत शब से तो यही बेहतर था, अपने हिस्से की कोई शमा जला दे जाते. Thank you all for listening. God bless you all. Thank you.
We will take a 15-minute break for the prayer, and we will promptly start in 15 minutes.